I'm super excited for this Tinder date. My wife left me ever since I had a gambling problem and a drinking problem, but I'm super excited to meet this new woman. Hey Jessica, it's Roger from Tinder.
Hello, person one. Let's make this rendezvous as entertaining as our chats.
No, it can't be. I thought you were real.
It's great to meet you in the flesh.
No! While that story may be fake, the underlying truth is real. Today I want to talk about the rise of artificial intelligence in dating. When I was doing my last video about the rise of AI in the creative industry, I found that 1 in 3 men uses ChatGPT in their average day-to-day dating life. You know, your grandpa can talk about how he met your grandma at the malt shop. You know, he asked her out 15 times, 16th time she finally said yes, then they got married, sign of the times. Your dad can talk about how he met your mom at like a Death Cab for Cutie concert, you know, something very Gen X coded. And you can talk about how you needed a robot to help meet your partner on a dating app. Not quite as romantic, is it? There's now a whole entire industry dedicated to using robots to help men who can't talk to women, which I find both a beautiful byproduct of our capitalist society and a little sad. Really quickly though, I just want to say thank you for the support and love on the last video. Had a lot of good discussions with you guys, a lot of fun comments there, but I have to say really quickly that 89% of you are not subscribed. So if you like my content, if you like my videos, please give me a subscription. You can always decide you hate me later on and unsubscribe, but more subscribers helps me grow the channel. I upload new videos every week, and it really helps me out to see more subscriptions and create more content for you guys. So thank you so much. Now, when I talk about the rise of AI in dating, I'm specifically talking about the rise of AI on the consumer side. The AI chatbot market is pretty fragmented, so we're going to be talking more broadly, but that's kind of what we're getting at. Because AI inside dating apps has been around for a while. AI has basically been a part of dating apps since pretty much the beginning, because there needs to be some sort of mechanism to pair you with potential matches using an algorithm and machine learning. This technology, though, is not super sophisticated because most of it just boils down to, does our machine think that this guy is hot? If so, yes, give him the babes. If no, then stick them with the uggos. So in a sense, this AI is kind of performing the same role as a bully in a 1980s movie. Now, generally, the AI apps are trying to be a little bit vague about what they're doing because most people don't take too kindly to being called ugly, including me. If you call me that in the comments, I will cry, maybe. But one dating app basically just said, fuck it, how about we make that our entire thing, called Iris. Now, how Iris works is when you log on, you're given a list of 50 stock images, which you basically say smash or pass to, and then their AI will essentially try to pair you with people who it thinks looks like that. This is assuming, obviously, that the AI thinks you're hot enough to play the game and match with the people that you want to match with. Does it work? Maybe, we don't really know. Their founder, Igor Kalashin, fun name, basically said we don't monitor that type of stuff. Although we don't monitor that, I have a strong feeling that it leads to, at the minimum, a very passionate kind of relationship, says Kalashin. But I think it's more long-term because just realize it may never happen to you again in life. First of all, what the fuck does that mean? What the hell type of advertising is this? Every swipe may be your last because it may never happen to you again. That's some very solid marketing. I could see that being used around the holidays. Tinder, every swipe may be your last. Have like some zombies, some mummies, do some crazy shit there. Yeah, great job, Igor. Top notch with this interview. So why don't they track any of this data? Well, maybe the data is unflattering to the business they're trying to have. While they argue that the swipe rate for women goes way up using their service as compared to traditional dating apps, some studies actually suggest that the more attractive you are, the more likely you are to get a divorce. So, I'm either fucked or I'm safe. I couldn't decide whether to do a self-depreciating or an ironic I'm hot joke here, so fill it in for yourself. But consumer-side AI is actually readily available for the average consumer, which is making these dating apps nervous. Now, they're not concerned that romantic relationships, one of the most beautiful and significant parts of the human experience, are being automated. They're not concerned about that. They're concerned that they're not making any money off of that, you see? And people are really kind of burned out with online dating, kind of at its highest point since Tinder was launched in 2012, putting swiping left and swiping right forever into our vocabularies, although this is very embarrassing. I still don't really know the difference. That's just been a red flag of mine I've had my entire life. I think right's the good one, and maybe it is, but I'm saying that like 60% confidence interval. I might as well be flipping a coin. But now, the company that owns Tinder, Match Group, is looking for a slice of the AI pie. The AI. The pie. That didn't really work, and I'm sorry. And just as a quick but really important note, because our economy is continually dominated by monopolies, Match Group actually owns both Tinder and Hinge, even though they're thought to be in direct competition with each other, as well as OkCupid and the original online dating site Match, and 12 dozen more. That's like owning the Yankees as well as the Mets, as well as 80% of the other baseball teams. So you really don't care at the end of the day who wins as long as it's one of your teams. They don't, however, have publicly traded company Grindr, the gay sex app. That one's for us. You're not getting that one, Match Group. So what is Match Group's innovative plans to get AI into dating apps? Well, they've kindly shared with us in their latest earnings report. They essentially have an AI assistant telling you why you might like this profile, which will be really handy for the men who have been castrated and, in the absence of testicles, have forgotten what sexual desire feels like. Get ready for endless laughter with this witty charmer who shares your love for brunch, scary movies, and a laid-back approach to life. So first of all, I have to assume that the AI isn't doing anything revolutionary and it's just reading the profile and regurgitating the same information that you would get if you had read the profile right back to you. Unless the AI is actually so sophisticated that it's noticed this woman is wearing a Jared Leto hat and assumes she must love brunch, in which case the AI is right, and the AI is a lot smarter than I possibly could have imagined. I also enjoyed that this AI assistant seems to kind of speak like a metrosexual robot. I think that's fun.
Get ready for endless laughter with this witty charmer who shares your love for brunch, scary movies, and a laid-back approach to life.
The most interesting thing, though, that I wanted to learn more about was not an AI assistant telling you how to have a boner, but rather the rise of AI chatbots in online dating. Now, I'm actually in a relationship right now, so I was able to delete the apps for the first time in 4.5 years, which has felt pretty good. But don't worry, I'm a man of the people. I know how much it sucks. I'm getting down in there, I'm getting down in the trenches. I want to get to the bottom of this, because I know online dating, it's pretty ass. I once had a man show up to meet me at a coffee date 45 minutes late on a Sunday afternoon and very high. And if you need marijuana to get through a Sunday afternoon coffee date, you have a problem. So as I said earlier, 33% of men use ChatGPT in their dating lives, but so do 14% of women, which is a lower but a pretty high number. And one survey suggests that 75% of people are considering and are open to the idea of using AI chatbots in online dating. So, do you have an issue with talking to an artificial intelligence when you thought you were talking to a human? I do. I know the talking stage is rough, but if you can't put in the bare minimum effort to use your, human brain to talk, flirt, ask questions about the people's lives, what does that say about your ability to sustain a relationship? Doesn't say good things, I'll tell you that. But maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe these AI chatbots are the perfect wingman, and I'm just an asshole. So let's take a look at a clip of CNN using a chatbot called Keys AI.
So I click AI. You look like the kind of person
who would make a killer pun about the word nougat.
What kind of pun could you make up with that word, I'm coming up blank? All right, so it has this auto respond feature. Whoa! 3 options. I'm trying to picture you without clothes on. I'm going to nougat you up. I could tell you, but it would be too nougaty person 2. Is that some kind of threat?
I didn't realize we needed technology to make women feel even more uncomfortable on dating apps, but thanks to AI, we can automate that too. But we have to compare this to what would a, mid to late 20s awkward software engineer, the person who is using these AI chatbots, what would they say by themselves? Well, Nigel, I call him Nigel. I think Nigel would have done a better job with this. Nigel wouldn't have made a weird sex pun with nougat. Nigel would have instead said something like, oh, you remind me of my mother, which is still weird, but at least that's Nigel being his authentic self, and it's better than a weird sex nougat pun. Not by much, though, I will say that. Not by much, but still. Edge Nigel. But maybe they did it wrong, so I wanted to do some tests for myself. So I went to an app called Rizz. Rizz is kind of the most popular, and for the low price of $28 a month, which is more expensive than every single other streaming service, you can have access to their Rizz chatbot. And for this test, I'm using some of the messages that my boyfriend sent me. Ha! Gay! Back when we were still just matching on Hinge. And since that worked out, I feel like I can be a pretty good judge of character as to whether or not these messages would have been effective if I had used them at the time. And for our control, we are going to ask ChatGPT some of the same questions. I asked it to give me a couple of responses relating to his profile because he had a picture in front of Machu Picchu. And I would say the responses ranged from old-timey British industrialist to sex pest, and one of them included a winky face emoji. I then did another test asking it to give me some responses for him asking me what I want out of Hinge. These were a little better, but there were definitely some duds and some languages that are a little weird. I then asked it the same question, but to give me the responses in the form of pirate talk, which was funny, and reminded me that really this is kind of the only small, low-effort pea-brain content that AI could actually be good for. But then I asked Rizz how Rizz would answer the same question, ideally not like a pirate, and literally all of them were bad. And mind you, this is the paid service. ChatGPT, at least for its part, the basic version is free. Rizz seems to have a fixation with both the winky face emoji and the concept of stealing hearts, which I don't know why the AI language model thinks that'll be effective on someone who's not in the 1800s. Rizz also allows you to modify a response that it's generated to make it longer, wittier, clever, or this one really grabbed me, cooler, whatever that means. So I asked it to make the response just looking for someone as amazing as you, cooler, and it gave me just seeking awesome you. This service costs $364 a year. Lastly, I asked Rizz to give me some advice for a dialogue where he asked me if I knew Spanish. I said LMAO, not at all, and he hit me with the 2 sideways laughing emojis. Now, this is kind of a very delicate situation where I think I really need Rizz's guidance because I didn't really add a whole lot to the conversation like, LMAO, I don't know Spanish. You know, that doesn't add a lot, but he added even less with the sideways laughing emoji. The entire balance of the conversation could hang on this next message. Rizz, help me out, please. These are somehow even worse. They range from completely generic and not helpful to I can't even send that one to him because English isn't even his first language, to something completely in Spanish, which roughly translates to I don't speak Spanish, but I can help you translate your ex-boyfriend's messages. Which, out of all the responses we've looked at today, is a really fucking weird thing to say to someone. I will say I'm a lot less concerned with AI in dating than I am with AI in the creative field. If you missed that video, click here. And that's because AI still hasn't grasped the concept that they should sound like a modern human being as opposed to a 19th century British industrialist or a sexual predator. There's a whole discussion to be had here as to whether or not it's the right thing to do to be talking to somebody who expects a human being and be using responses completely generated by machines and AI. Is it ethical? Well, no. But that's kind of almost besides the point. AI doesn't really address the fundamental problem, which is if you need to download an app called Rizz to talk to people on dating apps, you're probably better off spending that $28 a month on something called therapy, if you've ever heard of it. And as for dating apps themselves, using AI to increasingly segment people by attraction, even though that isn't even a predictor of relationship success, and it already makes the market of online dating even more of a market, that's too scary to think about, and I'm not going to, and neither should you. But that's going to do it for me, guys. As always, my name is Patrick, but my friends call me Pat. What do you guys think about the rise of AI in online dating? Is it a positive thing, negative thing, neutral thing? Does it even matter? Have any of you guys ever used it in online dating? If so, you probably have clicked off this video by now. I was quite critical. But if you agree with me, disagree with me, leave a comment. We'll have a little banter. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe, please comment. It really helps me get the video out to more people and continue to grow the channel. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you for the next one.